YouTube, what's good? We are back with another Def Jam Fight for New York video, and this is the 100% trophy guide. As you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, this is going to go with the previous video we covered on Def Jam Fight for New York 100%, where we had the entire gameplay from start to finish with cutscenes, and we pretty much 100% cleared the game with all trophies, and the gameplay was, chef's kiss. So I worked really hard on this video, man. So before moving on, leave a like and subscribe for me if you're new over here. I am known for my Def Jam content, and I'm pretty respected as far as gameplay is concerned. So if you're new over here, I'm nice at the game. Keeping it short and simple, I'm nice at the game, man. So you definitely want to take my word for what I'm saying. And also, I'm going to answer the questions as far as trophies and gameplay is concerned in this game too as well. So I'm going to try to do that as well. I already have guides out for gameplay combos as well. And we're going to be talking about that and referring back to that as the video goes on too. But like I said, I ain't going to hold you too much longer. Let's get right into the video, man. All right, so starting off with the first trophy that shows on the wall, we're going to be going from the order of the wall. And I don't know why this is the first trophy on the wall, but like I said, we're going to be going on the order of the wall, man. So the first one is the raided territory, and the description states, congratulations, you have successfully raided the red room. So pretty much what this means is, after you beat WC in the red room, you're going to be awarded this trophy. And I think this will be the first time out of 2 total that you fight WC. The second time will be in the chop shop, but the first time you fight it will be in the red room as a boss. And WC as a fighter, he likes to strike a lot. He may throw in a regular grapple here and there if you're pretty much spaced out, or if you choose to go for parries too much, he's going to try to grab you. For the most part, he likes to jab a lot, so focus on his quick strikes, or if you can't keep up with that enough to parry it, just make sure you're blocking and you're ready for the follow-up grapple. For the most part, WC shouldn't be too hard. Moving on to the next trophy. Next up, we have the tutorial trophy, and the description states, congratulations, you have completed the tutorial. And this will be the fight, well, the introduction, or like they say, the tutorial, after the cutscene where D-Mob introduces you to Method Man and Sticky Fingers. And after you choose your fighting style, you're going to follow all the directions on the bottom of your screen, complete the fight, and once you get through that, D-Mob will hand you some money to start you out, and Method Man will introduce you to your apartment that you stay at for the time being. And once you get there, you will be able to check the trophy wall and see that the tutorial has been awarded. Next up is the 50 wins trophy, and the description states, congratulations, you have achieved 50 wins. And this is pretty self-explanatory. Once you get past 50 fights, you have 50 W's under your belt, you get awarded this trophy. Next up is the speed trophy, and the description states, congratulations, you have maxed out your fighter speed in the gym. So pretty much all that means is once you get your speed rating to 100% for your fighting and his fighting style, you're awarded this trophy. It's pretty self-explanatory, nothing much to think about here. Moving on. Next up, we have Subway match win, and the description states, congratulations, you have achieved a Subway KO in the Subway match. So after you defeat Crack in story mode, there will be a cutscene of you guys celebrating, which gets interrupted by Crow and his crew's limo, where you guys crash land and end up in a subway. So you'll get put up against Trail here, and what you want to do is make sure that you get Trail in danger while you're blazing, or you can blaze while he's in danger, and you make sure to finish him with a blazing move. Don't finish Trail with anything else beside a blazing move. I haven't tried throwing him onto the railroad when the train approaches, so I don't know if that counts or not. You guys can converse about that in the comment section, but I would recommend finishing him with a blazing move so you can get the stage finisher where he needs him, throws a couple punches, and puts him in the headlock and throws him in the train. Getting that cutscene will pretty much guarantee you the Subway match win trophy. Moving on to the next. Next up, we have the 3 wins in a row trophy, and the description states, congratulations, you won 3 matches in a row. This one is pretty self-explanatory, nothing to dwell on here, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Next up is the free-for-all trophy, and the description states, congratulations, you have won all 4 free-for-all matches. Now these free-for-all matches are scattered across story mode, but once you do come across them, make sure to win them. So I don't know if you guys are playing on easy, normal, or hard difficulty, and I don't know who you guys are going to be matched up with, but just do your best and make sure you win those fights, just like the description states, man, or you won't be awarded the trophy. Next up is Bling King, and the description states, congratulations, you own over $200,000 in jewelry. So that pretty much means you have to spend at least $200,000 or more at Jacob's jewelry shop. And that means you will have $200,000 or more worth of jewelry in your possession, and you will be awarded this trophy for doing that. So it doesn't matter when, you can always come back after you beat story mode once you have enough money to get over $200,000 worth in jewelry. Excuse me. So pretty much this one doesn't have a time limit and there's no rush to get this done. Just make sure you have enough money and you don't forget to do this if you want 100% trophies. Moving on. Next up, we have single game earning, and the description states, congratulations, you have earned $10,000 in a single match. So the emphasis for this trophy, to make sure you get it, is to always focus on combos. Combos are the greatest way to get your score up very fast in the match. And what I mean by combos is holla back, rope-a-dope, player hater, draw dropping, dropping heat, high rolling, New York nightcap, just to name a few. And if you guys don't know how to execute combos, or you don't know every single combo in the game, I have a video for you in that called Def Jam Fight from New York, all combos, that I posted a couple years back, and it still holds solid. So go watch that video if you don't know all the combos, but pretty much focus on combos and focus on getting your score very, very high. And once you get to the point to where I'll say maybe 3 or 2 blazings, because sometimes some people can't survive more than 2 blazings, but pretty much try to get your blazing moves off as much as you can without knocking out your opponent, and hopefully the purse combined with your score from the fight will give you 10,000 or more. But this is going to come later on in story mode, because early on, unless you're actually doing cheat codes for your score, you won't have 10,000 unless you want to sit there and jab them to death, because jabbing won't kill them, but it will up your score. So it's whatever you want to do with that. If you want to jab them to death at the beginning of the very first fight, you can, but I would suggest waiting on and letting it come naturally as you fight and become a stronger fighter and become a more, marketable fighter. So people bet on you more and you earn more money from the fights. Moving on. Next up, we have a trophy called TWIY. I do not know what these letters stand for. And it states, congratulations, your total earning has reached $200,000. So this pretty much means your lifetime's earnings from the start all the way to your current place in story mode has equal 200,000 or more. So this is another one that comes naturally, and as long as you're fighting well and you're doing well to make sure that you dominate your opponents, this will come naturally. You won't even have to worry about it. Moving on. Next up, we have Speed King, and this description states, congratulations, you have beaten the first 10 fighters in under 30 minutes. So that means none of your first 10 fights can be 3 minutes or longer. You have to make sure to get rid of these people quickly. And I don't know how long my fights took for the first few venues, but I'm pretty sure they were well under 3 minutes, unless I was searching for weapons that I didn't want to move on without. And that could be a hindrance as well. But for the first 10 fights, please make sure, if you want this trophy, to beat them well under 3 minutes. I wouldn't even risk going past 2 minutes. Just make sure that you're keeping an eye out for the weapons if you want them, because Foundation, you only revisit it twice. So be sure to keep an eye out for weapons, but don't stall with the health bar. If his health bar is low, go ahead and finish him off and move on in the first 10 fights. Let's go on to the next trophy. Moving on to the next trophy, we have Perfect Health, and the description states, congratulations, you have won a match with no health loss. And I'm sorry for talking with my hands, I do that a lot. But anyway, it's just pretty self-explanatory. Perfect Health means you win a fight without taking any damage at all. And I think that's pretty easy. And if you don't know where to start, I would suggest doing it on Fat Joe, or you can do it on Trick, because Trick and Fat Joe are the people who take bait when you hold block and pretty much do the block method. And if you guys don't know about the block method, I have that in my guide for pretty much how to and a technique guide. So the technique and skill guide that I have with the thumbnail of Redman on it, you can click on that and you can learn how to do the block method. And I would suggest doing the block method on Trick and Fat Joe. Moving on though. Next up is the lower strength, and the description states, congratulations, you have maxed out your fighter's lower body strength in the gym. This one's pretty self-explanatory. All you have to do is get your fighter's lower body stat to 100% in the gym, and you will have this trophy. Nothing else to worry about. Next up, we have Crowd Move, and the description states, congratulations, you have performed 50 double team moves in total. So if you don't know what double team moves are, is when at any point in a fight where you knock somebody away from you and the crowd member has them in the full Nelson, what you're supposed to do is go up and grab them so you can activate a crowd move. And as long as you do this 50 times over the course of the beginning to the end of story mode, you will have this trophy, man. So not much to worry about, and I think you guys already know how to get this trophy. It shouldn't be too much of a problem for y'all. But let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have Chop Shop Champion, and the description states, congratulations, you have won a Chop Shop tournament. And this one is pretty self-explanatory as well. Once you get the cutscene or even the opportunity to participate in the team tournament, it doesn't matter who you choose, it's really up to you. Once you get the cutscene of Buster hitting on your girl and your guy saying you're not my type and all that, you win the tournament and you will have a Chop Shop Champion trophy at that point. Next up is the story mode one, and this one is also self-explanatory. All you gotta do is beat story mode, complete it, and just beat Crow however you please. You don't have to throw him out of the window, just beat Crow and complete story mode, and once you come back, you will have this trophy. Nothing too hard, man. Pretty simple. Moving on to the next one. Next up, we have the trophy called Upper Strength, and just like in the last trophies, all you have to do is get your fighter's upper strength stat to 100% in the gym, and once you do that, you will have this trophy once you come back, man. So it's nothing really much to worry about. Comes automatically, if you will. I'll put it like that. It really does come automatically if you want to max out your fighter stats. I don't know who on YouTube wouldn't want to max out their fighter stats unless they weren't doing a challenge run. So this is one of those natural trophies you don't have to worry about, man. So moving on to the next one. Next up is toughness. It's the same thing. Once you get to the gym, get your toughness stat to 100%, and once you get that, you will have this trophy waiting on you once you get back to the apartment, man. So it's nothing else too crazy. We're gonna move on to the next one. Next, we have the demolition trophy, and the description states, congratulations, you have totaled your opponent's vehicle. So I think after the Gauntlet one-on-one tournament, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't really have a good memory as far as like the story mode is concerned, but I think after the one-on-one tournament, you get the cutscene where Method Man is congratulating you on how much you've done while D-Mob has been locked up. And Busta Rhymes will pull up behind you and he'll question your skills as a fighter on your own because of him losing in a team tournament. So what you do, number one, this is for another trophy later on down the line too. Number one, what you want to do is throw him on the windshield twice to knock off the windshield wiper and make sure to break that windshield wiper on him. And after that, throw him on the windshield another time to break it for the third time. Next, you can either take it to the front part of the car for the hood, or you can take out the headlight, or you can take out the door, or even the tire where the fender is. So you can choose any of those areas to break, and you use the areas 3 times, and he should have enough health and toughness to survive. And once you do enough environmental attacks on the car, enough times in the same spot correspondingly, you will pretty much have something on your screen say total instead of KO. If it says KO, you didn't do it right. But if it says total, you did it right, and you will have the trophy waiting on you once you get back. So moving on to the next one. Next up is the 100 combo trophy, and the description states you have performed 100 combos in total. So like I said earlier, guys, if you haven't seen my Def Jam Fight from New York all combos video, definitely go watch that for a refresher to get your knowledge up on combos and what to do consistently so you can naturally come across this trophy. So implement it into your fighting style, whether it be holla back, drop and eat, or high rolling. I know those are the most common combos across all skill levels for the game. So as long as you guys are spamming those, making sure you get those reps in, you will have this trophy in no time, man. So that's pretty much it for that trophy. Moving on to the next. Next up, we have Inferno Match Win, and the description states you have won the Inferno Match without touching the Ring of Fire. So this is at the point in the story where after you save Blaze from Kraken Magic, you go to the warehouse and you find Sticky and the girlfriend you chose, and he challenges you to a fight with a Ring of Fire. And all you have to do is defeat Sticky Fingers while not touching the Ring of Fire like the trophy said. And my greatest tip to do this for you is to avoid his haymaker, because those moves have great amount of knockback, a great amount of knockback. So watch out for his haymaker or any of his strong attacks where he loads up, where you see him loading up. So his strong kicks and his haymaker, avoid those. Try to keep some space between you and him so you have time to react to what he's doing, but not too much space, because the Ring of Fire, as time passes, will shrink, and you also just have to make sure not to touch it at all so you can get this trophy. So this one is kind of difficult to get, and Sticky is a difficult fight as well. So I'm just going to suggest the block method, but even that is kind of annoying to be consistent with against him because he has a short, quick grapple. Street fighters have that short, quick grapple that are sometimes hard to react to depending on their combo strings. So you're really gonna have to lock in, and you know what I'm saying? Get serious for this one. You're gonna have to take a lot of focus to get this one. So make sure if you're playing on hard difficulty to lock in. Medium or easy, I'm not sure. I don't play on those difficulties. I don't know how the AIs act, but on hard difficulty, make sure to lock in and focus. But that's all I have for you for this trophy. Let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have the Learn and Moves trophies. And the description states you have learned all blazing moves in the gym. And pretty much you don't have to use them or equip them. All you have to do is once you come across the correct amount of development points to spend, just buy every single blazing move that he has available for you. And once you do all that, you will have this trophy. This is something that comes naturally. But I don't know if you play on easy or medium. I do know easy and medium gives you less development points. Like I said, I only play on hard. So if you guys play on easy or medium, be sure to have enough development points to buy everything, man. Hopefully you guys do. I don't know anything about easy and medium difficulty, man, but yeah, that one should come naturally, as long as you complete story mode and do what you got to do with those fights, man. But moving on to the next one. Next up, we have Find All Weapons, and this is going to be a section of its own, but the description states you have used all weapon types. And pretty much, I'm going to walk you through all the stages that has the important weapons that you need to use. I also have a list that you're going to follow along for every stage, and pretty much, to my knowledge, I think you only have to use the same exact weapon once. Doesn't matter if it pops up in another stage, but please make sure to break the weapons on somebody, because I don't know if the game registers you as using them if you don't break them on somebody. So be sure to break them on somebody, and also be sure to use every single weapon type, because there are multiple different types of hammers, there's multiple different types of shovels. But anyway, I'm not gonna yap too much. Let's go ahead and get into the section where I break it down for you guys. So with the foundation, all you have to do is look for 4 items, and that will be the bat, the small pipe, the bottle, and the broom. For the limit, all you have to focus on are the pool sticks and the beer bottles. For Babylon, all you have to do is focus on the broom, the pool sticks, and the beer bottle. For the power plant, all you have to do is focus on the small pipe, the long pipe, the crowbar, and the bolt cutters. Hunt's Point has a lot of weapons to keep up with. So you have the board with wire, you have the wrench, you have the tire iron, you have the long pipe, and you have the muffler. And you get the muffler one or 2 ways. If you're in after hours, you can throw them against the dumpster and have the muffler bounce out of the dumpster from using the environmental attack. Or if you're in the Hunt's Point where everyone is there and the lights are on, you go to the car, the yellow car on the very left of the arena, you smash them against the door 3 times, and the muffler should drop out the back of the car. And once you pick up and use that, that'll count for you. 7th Heaven only has beer bottles, and that's the DTP makeover, and the regular 7th Heaven. They only have beer bottles, so that's all you have to worry about. And if you use it in the limit of the foundation or any stage before that, you don't have to worry about it. Next up is a chop shop, and you have the red bolt cutters, the blue bolt cutters, the long pipe, the small pipe, the sledgehammer, the broom, the muffler, the wrench, the tire iron, and the crowbar. That's a lot to keep up with, but you do have plenty of time. You have the tag team tournament, you have the chop shop itself. I don't think you revisit after that though. I think once you get to the tag team tournament and the actual chop shop challengers themselves for the west side, I don't think you revisit. Hopefully you do, but yeah, it's a lot. So be sure to keep a lookout for those. But by that time, you should already have the Speed King trophy. So take your time and make sure you don't miss any of those weapons listed. And like I said earlier, with the demolition trophy, with this trophy, you're going to have to smash Buster Rhymes against the windshield twice, and you will see a windshield wiper break off and get on the ground. And you have to pick that up, and you have to break that on Buster Rhymes to make sure that that counts towards your trophy's progress. At the pit, the weapons you have to focus on, it's another long list as well. You have the sledgehammer, the long pipe, the board with wire, rusty shovel, shiny hammer, regular hammer, and a level. And you also have the scrap wood that they will pick up occasionally from time to time that you have to look out for it too. And this is the only stage with scrap wood. You can go for it while fighting Sticky, but I don't think it counts for the same type of weapon. Maybe it does, but you have to get it in the Sticky fight by smashing him against the pillar, I think, about once or twice, or maybe even 3 times. And you should see a piece of scrap wood fall, and you use that against him. If you haven't used it, here. Next up is the heights, and you have a brick, you have the crowbar, you have the bolt cutters, you have the hammer, and you have the grill brush. The grill brush that, you know, it's a brush. So those are all the weapons you have to look out for. And then finally, I think I'm probably missing one, but moving on to the subway, you have the beer bottle, you have the half pipe on top of the vending machine after smashing them into it, and you also have the hitting rusted pipe on the wall where you break off and you pretty much clock them across the head with it, and make sure to break it so that can count as well. And this rusted pipe also shows up in the pit, and it also shows up in the heights if you don't get it here. But please be sure to keep an eye out for the rusted pipe. And lastly, for Hunt's Point After Hours, you have to smash your enemy against those barrels. And once you do, it will be a crowbar under them, and you will see it after they get up or roll away or whatever they do after you knock them down, doing an environmental attack on the bottles. Be sure to use that crowbar. But that's it for the $5 weapons trophy. After you get all those done, you should have the trophy by the time of, I think they said, for me, I got it a little bit after the heights in story mode. So if you, after the heights, you should start looking for that completion for the trophy. So getting it before then, I don't think it's possible. Maybe it is, I could be wrong, but I got it a little bit after completing the heights in story mode. So moving on to the next. Next we have 50th Blazing, and this one's kind of self-explanatory. All you have to do is have a total of 50 or more Blazing activations in story mode. That's all you have to do. You don't have to use Blazing. All you have to do is fill the meter up and activate it 50 times. Once you do that, you're good to go for this trophy, man. Moving next, we have first special move, and this one is kind of self-explanatory. The description states you have learned a new special move in the gym. So all you gotta do is buy your first special move from Henry Rollins in the gym. I don't know if buying a style will give you this trophy as well. So you guys can talk about that in the comment section. I don't know if you buy a new style and the Blazing that comes with the style will award you this trophy. But for the most part, be sure to buy at least one Blazing move that you like and equip it, and so you can have this trophy. Moving on. Next up is hybrid styles, and you will get this trophy after buying another style with the first that you already have. And the description states you earned a second fighting style. So this one is pretty self-explanatory. This one is kind of naturally given as well. You don't have to worry about this or look out for it too much. Nothing to worry about here, man. So moving on to the next one. Next up, we have this weird one, and it's the grapple move trophy, and it says you have performed 25 grapple moves in a match. And I chose to do this in my run on Fat Joe because of his toughness, because of our low stats, and also his health too. And it's also easy because all he goes for is strong grapples where I can just reverse it and go for my own grapple move. Now, I do have a kickboxing clinch kick as one of my grapple moves, but I don't recommend using that. Use anything but those. Go through your regular grapples and try not to use your kickboxing clinch kick because I don't think that counts towards it. But just count, keep a good track in your head, maybe have a counter app on your phone while you're doing it, while you're fighting, to where you do 25 grapple moves on Fat Joe because he's tough enough to withstand that. And once you get to that point, go ahead and knock him out using the environmental attack or your style skill, and you will have this trophy, man. It's kind of weird. It drags out fights a lot. Like, it will make your fight last very long, but you know, once you get it done, you don't have to worry about anything like this no more, man. It's kind of weird, like I said, but that's how you get it. Make sure you do 25 grapple moves in one single match alone, man. You can even try it in the free-for-all because that's multiple enemies and multiple health bars to try it on. So maybe my way isn't the fastest way. Y'all can talk about that in the comment section. But moving on to the next trophy. Next up, we have window match win, and this is the final boss fight where you go to confront Crow about all that he's done in story mode. And pretty much you have to beat Crow without him knocking you or throwing you into the window. If he knocks you backwards and you hear a glass cracking sound when you touch that back wall, You're going to have to restart the fight if you want this trophy, man. You have to beat Crow without him knocking you into the wall and you hear the grass crack sound. Because sometimes it can look like you're on the window, but if you hear like a hollow thud, that means you hit the wall instead of the glass and you can continue to fight. But if you get knocked against the wall and you hear glass cracking, at that point, that's when you know you should restart the fight. But once you beat Crow without touching the glass, you got this trophy in your hands, man. Moving on to the next one. Next up, we have Brotherhood. And this one is where you save Blaze from Magic, Crack, and WC before he got knocked out, and Hunt's Point after hours. So after you beat Crack and Magic with a wounded Blaze, you get this trophy, but you know, you have a whole lot of fights to take care of before you can get back to this part and look at your trophy case. But once you do complete that fight, you will have the trophy. Next up is the Catfight trophy, and as you can tell by the title of it, it's pretty self-explanatory. Once you do choose a girl at the limit, once you get to the Babylon, Carmen Electra is going to start flirting with you, and you either have a choice between Carmen Electra or the girl you had before meeting her. And once you win that fight with whoever you chose, you will be awarded this trophy, man. So that's pretty much it. That's all you have to do. Carmen Electra is the strongest fighter of all the women. So I guess the game is influencing you to go with Carmen Electra because she is a good fighter. She has parry plus and a great skill set. But if you want to stick with the rest of them, they all have their own skills. I would say Lil Kim is probably the toughest to play with because she has parry minus, and that could be a little bit annoying sometimes as far as having an advantage and keeping the advantage in the fight. But they're all good. I like using all of them, man. I don't really have any gripes with any of them. But Carmen Electra is no doubt the best women fighter. So if you want this trophy as easy as they come, pick Carmen Electra, man. But moving on to the next trophy. Next up, we have the KO trophy, and it says, congratulations, you have performed 50 KOs, and that's pretty self-explanatory. Just get through 50 fights with the KO. You don't have to do it subsequently, but you do have to make sure you get at least 50 KOs out of all the fights that the story provides you. And if you don't, you're going to miss out on this trophy, man. So make sure you're using your environmental attacks. Street fighters out there, y'all use your haymakers. All my wrestlers out there, use your strong grapples. My kickboxers, make sure you're using your kickboxing clinches to finish them. And my martial artists, make sure you're running up those walls and doing your reflex attacks. So, and if you're a submission artist, you gotta use weapons and you gotta use your environment if you don't have any styles to accompany you. So yeah, that's how you get that trophy, man. Let's go ahead and move to the next one. Next up is the health trophy, and this one is pretty self-explanatory, just like the last stat trophies, where you go to the gym, you get your health stat to 100%. Once you get back, you'll have this trophy ASAP. Nothing to worry about, it'll come naturally. But remember, like I said before, if you're playing on easy and medium, you get less development points. So I cannot guarantee that you will have all these trophies if you play on any other difficulty but hard, because I never played on easy or medium. So I don't know how many development points you're going to end up with, but hey, be sure to go for this trophy if you can. Moving on to the next one. Next up, we have the bonus fights trophy, and this is after you beat Crow, and the credits and everything else is done, and you go back to the main menu. You're going to go back into story mode, and there are going to be more fights for you on the map, and you cannot quit. Please do not quit, because if you quit, you will be omitted from continuing any bonus fights, and you have to start all the way over, get a fresh new file after you beat story mode. And I know that's going to be tedious, and I know that can be very frustrating. So be very, very locked in, focus hard, be sure not to quit, and make sure if you have to cheese the AI, do whatever you got to do to win at this point, because if you quit, you're omitted from getting this trophy. So don't quit any of the bonus fights, and make sure you do whatever you got to do to win. Cheese, no holds barred, y'all. But going on to the next trophy. Next up, we have no penalty, and this trophy is earned by completing any fight in story mode without having anything like soft touch, recycled rerun, first to fall. And I don't remember any of the other negative scores, but you have to finish a fight with no negative scores on your score sheet once they end the fight and your fighter does his outro. That little paper that pops up with all those numbers and scores and words, make sure there's no negatives at the bottom of that score sheet, and you will have this trophy, man. So try not to repeat moves. Try not to do too many jabs, because they'll give you soft touch. Don't repeat moves back to back too much, or they'll give you recycle rerun. And don't be the first to fall on your back in the fight. or you'll get first of all, man. So yeah, that's pretty much how you get this trophy done. Moving on to the next up, we have 5 blazing, and all you have to do is do 5 blazing activations in one match. You don't have to blaze on your opponent, but you do have to make sure you get 5 total blazing activations in one fight. The easiest way to do this is in a free-for-all because you have multiple enemies to punch and beat on, so your meter can fill up, and you don't pretty much have to worry about knocking out your opponent if you're doing a one-on-one. So the easiest way to do this is in a free-for-all. I suggest going for this in a free-for-all. I did it in a one-on-one. I forgot what fight I did it in, but I did it in a one-on-one fight in story mode just because I wanted to. But I think it would be easiest for you guys to be in a free-for-all, man. But just do 5 blazing activations. You don't have to do your blazing attack. Just do 5 blazing activations, wait out the meter, get it back, and do it, rinse and repeat until you have 5 times. Moving on to the next trophy. Next up, we have charisma, and you earn this trophy by having a charisma stat of 75% or more. You can't go to the gym to upgrade the stat. What you have to do is buy new clothes, buy new jewelry, win fights, make sure your fighter has some tattoos, nice haircut, nice shave, and what else am I missing? Oh, shoes. Make sure your outfits are clean, new. Make sure you're wearing new clean outfits, good tattoos, good hairstyle, good shave. Make sure you're just the flyest you can be, pretty much. Make sure you just dripped out as much as you can, and eventually you will have this. You just have to wear very expensive things. Don't look at the clothes, look at the price tag. So just wear very expensive clothes and make sure you win a lot as well. Win streaks do help your charisma, and you'll have this in no time. As long as you're wearing very expensive clothes and accessories and even tattoos, and as long as you're winning consistently, your charisma will be above 75% in no time. But that's it for this trophy. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Next up, we have the win percentage trophy, and this trophy is earned by having an average win percent of 80 in total in story mode. Okay, so there is a total of about 98 fights. Is it 98? I'm gonna be safe and say 98. There's a total of about 98 fights, and you need to win at least 79 or 78 of your fights to be awarded this trophy. So there's a total of, if there is a total of 98 fights, because I'm looking at my Sandman 100% file right here, and he's 98 and 0. So if he's 98 and 0, that means you have to win at least 78 or 79 at the minimum for your fights. Now you're allowed to lose, but I don't even recommend losing. Just go 98-0 like I did. Or if you do have a couple losses, you can't go lower than 78. So that's pretty much how you get that trophy, man. Moving on to the next. Next up, we have the 1-minute KO, and this is pretty self-explanatory. You can probably do this back in the beginning of story mode where they put you at the foundation, because the damage is buffed even though your stats are very low. The damage is buffed in the foundation. So as long as you're serious about ending your fights, you should have this naturally. If you're a street fighter, you know to spam those haymakers. If you're a kickboxer, make sure to use your environment to kind of stun them, and use your kickboxing clinches to pair with that. So end your kickboxing clinches with an environmental attack. Use the stun to rinse and repeat. If you're a martial artist, I would suggest just using your parry plus to set up our environmental attacks or crowd moves, because that'll be your most devastating attack for the time being. And any other fighting style, just make sure you're using weapons, and make sure you're using your strong grapples when you can. But for the most part, and focus on environmental and crowd moves, man, and you should have this in no time. Just focus on your strongest moves, using them repeatedly to get that quick KO. Moving on to the last. For the very last trophy on the wall is a skill points trophy, and this is acquired by having all of your fighter stats at 100% in the gym. And once you have that, you should have this trophy in the game, man. So I pretty much showed you guys how to get every trophy in the game. Like I said, if you haven't already, leave a like and subscribe if you made it this far, man. This video took a lot of work, man. Like I said, I stayed up. I was supposed to be asleep right now, but I made sure to get this video out for you guys to make sure that you guys don't have any more gripes or problems with the game, because I still get questions to this day about guides I dropped years ago. But yeah, hopefully this guide helps you out a lot, guys. I tried to make it visually pleasing and easy to understand. I cannot talk. Like I said, it's late, man. I stayed up trying to get this for y'all. But without further ado, man, it's D20 signing out, man. Thank y'all for watching. If you stayed this long, man, thank you. Leave a like and subscribe. And also let me know what you thought about the video if you made it this far down below, man. without further ado, this is me signing out, man. See y'all in the next one. Peace out.